Welcome back to American Agenda. I'm Katrina Zish, and it is time now for The Other View. Well, he won't be moving in until Inauguration Day, but Donald Trump will return to the White House this Wednesday for an Oval Office meeting with President Biden, marking their first extended face-to-face since last June's CNN presidential debate that led to Biden's exit from the race. Now, the outgoing commander-in-chief spent the weekend at his home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where he was caught looking a little unsteady. You can see him there having trouble in the stand while he was walking on the beach. At one point, First Lady Jill Biden even grabbed his arm to hold him steady. And now, Vice President Kamala Harris's former communications director is calling on Biden to resign. No, not over health concerns, but to clear the way for Harris so she can serve as president for a month or so, despite losing to Trump. Watch.
Joe Biden has been a phenomenal president. He's lived up to so many of the promises he's made. There's one promise left that he could fulfill, being a transitional figure. He could resign the presidency in the next 30 days, make Kamala Harris the president of the United States.
Whoa.
It would absolve her from being able to, from having to oversee the January 6th transition, right, of her own defeat. And it would make sure that it would dominate the news at a point where Democrats have to learn drama and transparency and doing things that the public want to see is the time. This is the moment for us to change the entire perspective of how Democrats operate.
This is now. All right. Joining me now, award-winning documentary filmmaker Melissa Francis and Republican strategist Nicole Kipraloff. All right. All of us chuckling, even the panel on CNN there that we were watching, kind of laughing as if he's joking. I don't think he was joking.
No, he's so out of his mind. I mean, he said, give the people what they want. They did not vote for her. So how is that giving the people what they want? I guess on one hand, she got more votes than she did in the primaries, so they feel like she should be president now.
Yeah, are we just handing her something else? She got the nomination. Now, oh, just let her be president for a couple days. Come on.
I mean, this idea of getting the title of first female president in this way should be deeply offensive to women everywhere.
She should be embarrassed.
40% of women under 30 voted for Trump. 53% of white women voted for Trump. Kamala Harris underperformed with the female electorate. So this is this erosion of trust with the female voters that we see because this is the premise of DEI, right? It doesn't matter if you deserve it or not. This is not a meritocracy.
I'm more concerned about Joe Biden. To see him hobbling in the sand like that,
Yes.
I don't think Jill gave him a hand as he was walking along. I wonder what he did to her that she doesn't like him. I mean, he's falling over here. She doesn't put her arm out. This poor man.
Well, that is interesting. We're watching that.
Yeah,
I think there was
she's
one
not
point,
helping
another
him.
one. Yeah, exactly. And maybe it's like, come on, it's good exercise. I don't know. I've walked on
I
that
don't
beach,
know.
but let me just tell you, on that same beach I've walked, it shouldn't be that hard.
No. I mean, I'm worried about him. I would like to be a fly on the wall, though, when he goes and does the transition.
But Melissa, to that end, do you think that President Biden should serve until President Trump takes the White House? I mean, you shouldn't just throw Kamala Harris a bone, so to speak. But I mean, do you
I don't
think
know,
he's
based on
capable?
that video, I don't know how much he's serving. I mean, one concern, I just did a documentary about Israel. It's called Revelation. And if you look at what they are doing to hamper democracy and the Israelis in the Middle East, I would like both President Biden and Vice President Harris to step down immediately, given the damage they're doing to democracy in the Middle East by propping up Gaza and not even understanding what's going on there.
I agree. I think that's a great point. I want to talk more about your documentary. I mean, Nicole, you and I have talked about this before. So many Americans, especially younger Americans, have absolutely no idea what is actually going on between Israel and Gaza, and just immediately assuming that Israel is the bad guy and the aggressor, and that's based on just complete ignorance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just want to make a point about Joe Biden here in the context of what you said, Melissa. If I were Joe Biden right now, I would be trying to do everything in my power to retain any shred of dignity.
Right.
He was kicked to the curb in the days before Election Day by his own team. He was forced to step down from his reelection bid, right? I mean, it's outrageous what's happening. And like you said, the treatment of this man, I feel really bad for him.
Yeah, but revelation. I know we are seeing things change in record time since the election last week.
Yeah.
We know that Trump has spoken to Netanyahu multiple times. Are you seeing a shift already based on revelation?
I mean, I know I was speaking with everyone in Israel this morning and doing live interviews every day, and they are very hopeful. But I would say that this is the only film that is undisputed by both Hamas and Israel. The facts are not known here on the ground in the U.S. The things that kids are saying on college campuses, Hamas disagrees with. They are proud of what they did on October 7th. They are proud that it was civilians, not these militants who came out and chopped up people and raped victims. They're proud of that fact that it was regular civilians in Gaza. You really need to watch the movie to get educated on what's going on there. I think Americans would be shocked.
But isn't that representative, or I would say, at least for me, that's what I would expect of terrorists. They want to inflict as much damage as possible on anybody who is celebrating freedom.
Yes, absolutely, they would. But I think that here in America, people think that there are Gazans who are the victims who are trapped in Gaza, and that's just not the case. They're happy to participate in this kind of terror, and I didn't know that until I went into Gaza myself and into the West Bank, and they confirmed that. I spoke to Hamas. I spoke to everybody on both sides. Hear it from their own mouths. Watch it. It's on YouTube at Melissa Francis now.
All right, and it's called Revelation.
Thank
All right,
you.
Melissa and Nicole, thanks so much for joining us. Great conversation on The Other View. And coming up, President Biden marking Veterans Day at Arlington National Cemetery. The details from his speech